One of the most interesting aspects of delving into concept art is discovering what might have been, what we could have got, the path not travelled as it were. We have already explored one untravelled path in my Phase 2 Enterprise video. But in this video, we will take a quick look at what we nearly had for the main bridge of the Enterprise D. We are all very familiar with the Galaxy-class main bridge. The bridge of the Enterprise is a command center with the captain or the officer of the watch in the center, and it looks dangerously close to a hotel. It's very comfortable. It's very like a futuristic 1980s lounge, with seating arranged facing the telly, a very big telly. But there was a design path taken by senior illustrator Andrew Probert, and along this path lies a history of discarded designs. Let's take a look at some of them. And if you like this video, then why not press the like button, share it, the video, not the button, on ye old socially of Media Nurse, and subscribe to this channel. And if you don't like this video, and I understand, I really do, then press the dislike button, share it on Medias of Socialness, and subscribe to the channel anyway. First though, why do we call it a bridge? It was the advent of the paddle wheel steamer that necessitated the bridge. Up to that point, commanding officers enjoyed the sacred quarterdeck, but the paddle wheel boxes, once introduced, restricted his views from that quarterdeck. An elevated platform of some sort was required, and so a walkway was fitted at right angles across the hull. As this connected one paddle box to another, like a footbridge, the elevated walkway became known colloquially as the bridge, even after ships discarded paddle wheels in favor of screws. The elevated walkway evolved into a navigational command center. Yet there is a bridge, and then there is a fictional bridge. These are not the same. One is a navigational command position with a captain directing the piloting and navigation of a vessel. The other is a stage for drama. This latter has different needs. The Enterprise bridge is the bridge of what is effectively a space warship. From the very start, it was a combination of navigational bridge and operations room, or what is also known as a Combat Information Center, or CIC. Tactical information, weapons, defense, detection, coordination of mission objectives are all controlled from a warship's operations room. Our favorite starship, though, put both navigation bridge and operations room into one space. From a dramatic point of view, it is the main stage, where much of the drama takes place. Switching from one room to another during the action of any episode might be distracting. It would also be more expensive, as 2 sets instead of 1 would be required. Another point I would like to make before we go further. There was an argument at this conceptual stage for housing the whole bridge complex not atop the saucer where it would be exposed to enemy fire, but deeper inside the ship. One location was where the battle bridge eventually was placed. But it seemed the idea of the Enterprise as a ship of peace and exploration, rather than as a defensive cruiser, kept the bridge atop the saucer. Much of the design evolution of the Enterprise D bridge took place in December of 1986. Probert's visions were based upon what was described to him as a command center nearly fully automated, which would combine officers' wardroom, briefing room, and what would in effect be a digital library. Probert himself was adamant the physical switches and buttons of the original era would be gone, and in their place would be touch screens. My interpretations in this video are rough, working as I am from sketches. I have though included a few extra details based on what we eventually got, such as the acudograms. Our first is the 2nd of December design. This is one of the smaller ones. The captain's chair is in the center. Before it is a T-shaped command console, whilst support consoles sit in 2 pits to port and starboard. A lack of railings makes this a health and safety nightmare. In front there is a particularly large view screen. Indeed, a cinematic view screen. It's space, but in IMAX. This really big screen would haunt Probert's conceptual designs. Probert decided to divide helm and ops so the captain could walk directly towards the main view screen. The twin consoles quickly became part couch. This couch/console was a concept Probert was reluctant to let go of. Would it have been practical? Surely the helm and ops officers would have been distracted by people sitting in front of them chatting. 2 designs from the 4th of December now, and they were more radical. Bridges on 2 stories. It's a bridge on the bridge. It's a flying bridge. Or a mezzanine with that most rare of things on a starship, a staircase. Another health and safety nightmare, but still a staircase. These 2 multi-story bridges had oval briefing rooms for officer conferences. The second multi-story was smaller, and the freestanding turbolift shafts of the first design joined the port and starboard walls. The captain's chair was close to ops and helm consoles, with unmanned consoles running around the walls. This is not a command center, it is a living room, a very big living room. Work and rest sit side by side. The design from the 9th of December retained the idea of aft bridge stations on a higher level. This is a more practical bridge from a television budget point of view. The captain's chair remained well forward with con and ops. In a second version of this design, we see the steps replaced by ramps, and the appearance of the wishbone, or the wooden horseshoe rail we were to come to love. Initially though, it embraced a reintroduced oval conference table. It seems rather tight in there, lacking in space, but this may be down to my model rather than how it would have been. The design from the 11th of December is within reach of the final bridge design. The captain's chair was gone, and the helm and ops consoles were lowered by dropping the floor. The captain would sit at the conference table, yet the conference table was clearly a problem for Probert from a design and practical point of view, and eventually he tidied it away in its own briefing room. I rather like the first 9th of December design. It's cozy, which given the inhuman horror of outer space would be a psychological comfort to the human psyche. The big 2-story affairs are what I imagine command centers at Starfleet Command would look like, but such a set would have taken up at least half the available space on Stage 8. There are interesting ideas amongst these conceptual designs. Personally, I would like the franchise to revisit them in future, not necessarily for the sake of the hero ship, but guest ships instead. But now I'll bring this video to a close, and hope you liked this video, or at least didn't hate it.